More than 300 business and community leaders will gather on December 3rd at the Four Seasons Hotel in Boston to celebrate the Museum of Afro-American History milestone of 50 years of preserving, conserving, and interpreting the contributions of African Americans. Co-chaired by Dr. Priscilla Douglas and Colette Phillips, the celebration will mark the museum's annual Living Legends Awards Gala, which is dedicated to saluting extraordinary trailblazers whose remarkable accomplishments uphold the legacy of 18th and 19th century Black patriots and their colleagues who distinguished themselves on behalf of freedom and justice. Here to fill us in on the details are Museum Afro-American History Executive Director Marita Rivero and the co-chair of the Museum of African American History 50th Anniversary Celebration, Dr. Priscilla H. Douglas. Welcome to Urban Update. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.
Well, Marita, let me start with you. A few more details on the work that's, just talk to me about the work that goes on at the museum and how you describe its mission.
Here we are on Beacon Hill in Nantucket with buildings that were put up by these communities in the 1806, 1774, to really come together, network, and in their case, to end slavery. So we think this is an incredible civic engagement story everybody ought to hear about, because they were part of that last push that really ended slavery with the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. So they came together during a period of real terror. Anyone could knock on your door, snatch you off the street. And a period when...
it happened right on Beacon Hill, too.
Right there, we know. And a period when women and men were not always seen as equals, of course, and yet women were very strong in this movement. They worked across race, they worked across class, and they ended slavery. They set up what we think of as a modern democracy. So we want to celebrate that story. We want to tell people about it, which we do in education programs and public programs, and we want to be to the 21st century what they were in their time.
Now, Priscilla, could you give us an update on how the planning's going for the Living Legends Gala Award and the 50th anniversary?
Yes, we're so excited about it. I'm working with Colette Phillips, and as you know, she is like the great connector, and with Marita and our board. And this gala it differs from most in that there's a reception. It begins with a reception, and then we have our celebration of our 2 honorees this year, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. And then it ends with another party, another gathering. So it's that in and out. And what distinguishes this gala from others is that it brings people from all classes, just like the old days of the meeting house. It brings people who were advocates for social justice to celebrate and to commune, to have conversations that they wouldn't ordinarily have, and to have a little party too.
And you said the meeting house. You're talking about the African Meeting House on Beacon Hill,
Yes.
Which is a historic site in itself. A lot of important meetings took place during the period of the abolitionist movement, of course. Now, Marita, it seems now more than ever that it's really, in your view, that it's important to remind everyone about the contributions highlighted at this museum. Do you think so?
I definitely do. We have a big exhibit up now on Frederick Douglass, for example, and it's going to be his 200th anniversary, 2018. But he's looking at activism and the camera, and you look now at activism and the smartphone. So we really remind people that we've been through some perilous times. We've had some great presenters. We've had great ways to reflect on what's happening today, and that's why these stories are so important to us now. I think they help define who we are. They inspire us to do important work right now in this century. So I tell people, come to 46 Joy Street on Beacon Hill. We're open Monday through Saturday, and make an opportunity for yourself to see how you fit into history. The gala, of course, brings us together and funds a lot of what we do. You've got to have the financial stability, but the stories are unique in America. So Boston has places that are just not existing anywhere else in America. They were torn down. They were plowed under, rebuilt, etc. Boston has the original buildings. So when young people come through, they're very interested in something that's authentic. This was the real building. Our collection has real books in it. 12 Years a Slave, here's the book. I think it's important for people to see that these things exist in real dimension and can help us think about what we're creating right now ourselves.
And it's such an active place, and I think that's what people really enjoy about it. And so that history can be in a book, but to have it be live there, and then for our living legends to be able to celebrate them is a continuation of that.
It is.
What can you tell us about that's on the agenda for the gala?
Well, we have two living legends that we're going to celebrate. Dr. Tony Coles, and he's an extraordinary doctor, physician, entrepreneur, and he created Humanity. So he's really tackling issues about neurodegenerative diseases. So he's known everywhere. And he's a spokesperson. He was one of the first people who came out and supported CEO Merck, Ken Frazier, and wrote an op-ed on that. And then I'm really excited that Dr. Sarah Lawrence Lightfoot is going to be recognized as one of our living legends because she was my professor at Harvard.
Okay.
And what else can we say about her?
Oh, she's been an extraordinary author who's written profiles, let's say, of Charles Ochiltree, who's, among others, who's local, but an extraordinary author, a nationally known professor, and she's been the chairman of the MacArthur Foundation. She's on other major foundations and has contributed financially to, let's say, the Smithsonian Museum of African American History and other important causes around the country.
She's the only Harvard professor, African American woman, to have an endowed chair at Harvard.
Wow. Marita, I guess in your eyes, what is the most important role you think the museum plays in the community here in Boston, the Boston area?
I think we, in part, are a gathering place. All kinds of people come and use the museum. It's used for weddings, for corporate lunches, for the Department of State does the naturalization oath at the museum. There are people in and out of that museum.
Family reunions?
All the time. Family reunions, yes. You
I
know
personally know about that.
You know about that? So I think for it to continue to be a place that people think they can come to rent or have programs or work with us, we have a whole series coming up called Race in the Public Dialogue.
And you also run the Black Freedom Trail tour, do you not?
Thank you. We run a Black Freedom Trail tour here and on Nantucket.
And I've been on that trail, and it is absolutely fascinating. All the things that took place right there on Beacon
Right
Hill.
there.
I couldn't believe that.
Live, right?
Yes.
And in
Absolutely.
color.
Absolutely. Talk to me about we're talking about Beacon Hill. For the African Meeting House and the little alley where
Holmes Alley.
Holmes Alley, which I never would have known, where people would run when slave catchers would come, and they would run through the alley and go into that little lady's house. It's amazing, amazing
It's like
tour.
a night on a chessboard. Beacon Hill's like moving around that hill. It's like through those alleys and gardens.
And there's fascinating stories there. Charles Shaw lived on that street as well. Also, quickly, what about Nantucket?
Oh my goodness. Nantucket has a small, lovely meeting house that can seat 80. We have jazz concerts there all summer. We have lectures. We do the same thing there we do here.
And what is the significance about part of the abolitionist movement?
It led the abolitionist movement. That house that we own, you remember the black whaling captain who had 200 men under sail? This is his parents' house. So blacks were on Nantucket from 1730 on, participating in integrating schools and in ending slavery.
So where can people go for more information about the gala?
You can go online, and I think our website is up there in terms of maah.org. And obviously, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on LinkedIn.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add? Dress code for the evening?
Dress code festive.
Okay.
And come prepared to have a great time. Okay. And we look forward to seeing you and welcoming you.
Okay, Dr. Priscilla Douglas and Marita Rivero, thank you both for coming in. And good luck on the evening. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that's it for this edition of Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett. For all of us here at Urban Update, have a great Sunday, everyone.